I thought it was just a harmless game night with family. Then my father-in-law pulled out a fun quiz called, "How well do you know your husband?" Every question was about his childhood, his exes, his preferences, things I'd never been told. When I got one wrong, they all laughed. My husband said, "You should study up." I said nothing. The next game night, I brought a quiz of my own, but it was called, "How well do you know the woman you undermine?" Let's just say, no one laughed when the secret started pouring out. That week after game night, I couldn't sleep. I'd lie next to Jeff, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow above us. He'd be snoring lightly, completely unaware how wrecked I felt. My chest was tight all the time, like I couldn't catch my breath. It wasn't just the quiz. It was everything. The way they laughed at me like I was stupid. The smug way Jeff smirked. The cold way his mom said, "Guess she still has a lot to learn." The way no one thought it might be weird that I didn't know those things, not because I didn't care, but because he never told me.
And why didn't he?
That question haunted me more than anything. I started digging through old photos, cards, emails, trying to remember what he knew about me. The answer? Not much. He knew I liked lemon cake. He knew I hated cilantro. But he didn't know why I never wore red lipstick anymore. Or how I froze up at hospitals. Or that I still talk to my dead mom when I'm alone. He didn't ask. So I decided to make him listen. All week, I typed. Not just a quiz. I built a goddamn exposé. I started with easy questions, my background, my education, my past. But then I layered in the deeper things. Painful things. Things I had survived. Things Jeff should have known. Then I mixed in truths about our marriage, stuff he lied about, stuff he let slide, things I had covered for. I printed every question.
28 of them.
I put them in a neat little folder and wrote the title in big, bold letters. How well do you know the woman you undermine? I brought lemon cake too.
Just to be polite.
That next Saturday, I walked into his parents' house calm and collected. Jeff was already there, drinking a beer with his dad. His mom and sister were setting out snacks. They were laughing about something on TV. I smiled and joined them like everything was normal. Then, after dinner, I pulled out my folder and said, "Last week's quiz was fun." I thought I'd return the favor. Everyone perked up. "Oh, cute," his mom said. "Let's see if Jeff can pass this time." I didn't smile. "This one's for everyone," I said. It's called, "How well do you know the woman you undermine?" You could hear the air shift. Jeff laughed nervously. "Is this a joke?" I looked at him.
No.
"But you might wish it was." I handed out papers. His mom raised an eyebrow but played along.
His dad scoffed.
Becky asked if there was a prize. I said yes, the truth. Question 1. What year did I graduate college? Jeff. 2013.
Wrong, I said. 2011 magna cum laude.
I told you that on our second date. His mom blinked. Question 2. What was the name of the company that offered me a job in California before I moved here? Silence. I looked at Jeff. Cisco Systems. $84,000 starting, full benefits, relocation package. I turned it down for you. His dad shifted uncomfortably. Question 3. Who paid off Jeff's $10,800 credit card debt when we got married? Still no answers. I raised my hand.
Me.
And he told me it was medical bills. It was gambling and signed sports gear. I found the receipts. Becky muttered. Seriously? Jeff snapped. Okay, this is ridiculous. I held up a finger. It gets better. Question 4. Who found a text from Jeff's ex on his phone 6 months into our marriage and decided to forgive him anyway? His mom turned toward him. Jeff's voice was sharp. That was nothing. She texted me, I didn't. I saw your reply, I said. You called her sweetheart. You told her you missed the way she made you feel. The table went silent. I kept going. Question 5. What major health issue did I face in 2020? His mom guessed migraines. Miscarriage, I said. 10 weeks along. Jeff said we weren't ready, and I shouldn't tell anyone because it'd make them uncomfortable. Now his mom looked like she'd swallowed glass. Question 6. What part of my body did Jeff tell me to get surgery on? No one spoke. I answered. My breasts. Said they pointed out too much. Said it turned him off. Becky stood up. What the hell is wrong with you? She said to Jeff. His mom mumbled. I had no idea. No one did, I said. Because I protect people, even when they don't deserve it. I put the papers back in my folder. The lemon cake sat untouched on the counter. Jeff's face was red, jaw clenched. His dad was suddenly very quiet. Becky kept shaking her head like she was trying to unsee it all. I used to wonder if I was crazy, I said softly. If maybe I expected too much. But now I know, I was just with the wrong person. I walked out without saying another word. The next few days were dead silent between Jeff and me. No texts. No calls. Not even a lazy "Are you home?" I think he knew better. Or maybe he was just hoping it would blow over like every other time I'd swallowed my pride. But this time I didn't. I stayed with my friend Melanie across town. She had a spare room and didn't ask too many questions at first. But after a couple nights of me crying in her bathroom and pretending I was fine, she sat me down and said, "You don't have to keep defending someone who breaks you down just by existing next to you." That sentence hit harder than I expected. Meanwhile, word started spreading around town. Becky told her boyfriend, who told his sister, who worked at the pharmacy, who told her neighbor. You get the idea. Lebanon's small. By Wednesday, I was getting texts from people I hadn't talked to in years. Some supportive. Some nosy. One from Jeff's old flame, Shannon. The bug nickname one. Her text said, "Just wanted to say I'm sorry. I should have warned you. I was dumb to think he'd change." That one made me feel sick to my stomach. Not because of her. Because of how many people had been silently watching him do this kind of thing, letting it roll right off their backs. Friday night, Jeff finally showed up at Melanie's. Didn't call. Didn't ask. Just knocked. Melanie opened the door and crossed her arms tight. "She's not here for your apologies," she said. "I just want to talk," he replied, eyes red like he'd been crying or drinking or both. I stepped into the doorway behind her. He looked surprised to see me. "Hey. Don't hate me," I said. "You want to talk? Say what you need to say." He shifted his weight, rubbed the back of his neck. "I messed up. I know. But airing all that stuff out in front of my family? That was..." I cut him off. "No. Don't say unfair. Don't you dare say unfair." His voice got louder. "You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself," I snapped back. "I just lit the stage you were already performing on." He looked away, jaw tight. "I didn't realize you were so angry." "You never realized a damn thing," I said. "You thought because I kept quiet I was okay. You thought because I stayed I accepted it. But I've been shrinking for years." Melanie cleared her throat behind me. "You should go," she told him. "She's got nothing left to give you." Jeff looked like he wanted to argue, but then he saw I wasn't going to stop her. He left without another word. The next twist came on Sunday. I got an email from his mother. The subject line was, "Please." She wrote. I didn't know how bad it was. "I'm ashamed." We all laughed that night, and I regret it deeply. I raised him better than that. "If you ever need anything, I want to help. You didn't deserve what we did to you." I stared at that message for a long time. Then I forwarded it to Melanie with the caption, "Too little, too late?" She wrote back, "Always is." But it didn't end there. That same week, someone posted on a local Facebook group about emotional abuse and subtle gaslighting in relationships. It went viral. Shared over 300 times. Dozens of women started chiming in with similar stories. Then someone anonymously posted about a man who mocked his wife in front of family, took advantage of her kindness, and gambled with money she paid off. They didn't name names, but everyone in town knew who it was. Jeff. After the Facebook post blew up, things escalated fast. Jeff started showing up at my work. I'm a bank teller. Small branch, mostly regulars. On Thursday morning, I saw him through the glass door. He didn't come in, just stood there for a second, then turned around and walked off. He did the same thing Friday. My manager noticed and asked, "Is that someone bothering you?" I told her the truth. She said if he stepped inside, she'd call the cops. That's when I realized how far things had gone. He wasn't just ashamed. He was desperate. That weekend, Melanie's brother-in-law had a cookout. I went just to get my mind off everything. Halfway through the night, I was sitting on a lawn chair sipping a soda when a woman I didn't recognize sat beside me. She looked nervous. Blonde, mid-30s, had a small scar near her jawline. "You don't know me," she said quietly, "but I used to work with Jeff." I turned slowly. "Okay?" "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't know he was married when he asked me out. It was just drinks, but he made me feel like it was nothing." My chest tightened.
She went on.
"When I found out he was married, I quit. I didn't want to get involved in anything messy. But now seeing what you posted, he does this a lot, doesn't he?" It was like a dam broke in her voice. I nodded slowly. "You're not the first. And I doubt you'll be the last." On Monday, Jeff's dad came to see me. I was loading groceries into my car at the price cutter when his pickup pulled up beside me. He rolled down the window. "I owe you an apology," he said flatly. "For laughing. For enabling him." I didn't answer. I just kept loading bags. He said, "He's been like this since high school. Charms everyone, then burns 'em out. Your quiz. It should have happened years ago." He paused. "I know it ain't my place, but he needs help. Real help." I closed my trunk. "That's not my job anymore." He nodded once. "Figured as much." Then he drove off. The next twist came 2 days later when I got a letter in the mail. Not an email. A letter. It was from a woman named Cassandra. The return address was a trailer park 20 miles out. The letter was 4 pages long. She said she met Jeff in 2021 on a fishing trip. Said they texted for months. Said he visited her when he had fights with his wife and told her he was staying in a bad marriage just for the sake of appearances. She sent screenshots.
There were pictures of them.
A receipt from a motel. A selfie he sent from our backyard, claiming it was his buddy's place. I sat on the floor of Melanie's living room and shook for a long time. Cassandra ended the letter with this. "I didn't know what he was hiding. Now I do.
I'm so sorry.
If you want to talk, here's my number." I never called her, but I kept the letter. That night, I finally messaged Becky. She replied right away, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know half of what was going on. I believed him. I shouldn't have." I asked her why she never questioned it. She said, "Because we were raised to think he was perfect. My parents never corrected him. He got away with everything. He almost hit me once when we were kids. Over the remote." I told my mom and she said, "Don't provoke him." I thought that was normal. I stared at the screen for a long time. This was bigger than I thought. A week after I got the letter from Cassandra, I filed for divorce. I didn't text Jeff. I didn't call. I just had the papers sent to his work. I wanted it on the record. I wanted the shame to follow him to the one place where he still thought he had control. He showed up at Melanie's again that night, banging on the door like a man who thought the world owed him a redo. Melanie didn't answer. I stood on the other side of the door, listening to him yell, "You think you're better than me? You think anyone's going to want you now? This is your fault. You made it this way." I recorded every word. Then I posted it online. I uploaded the clip to the same Facebook group where the original post went viral. I didn't say much, just a short caption. "This is what it sounds like when you stop protecting a man who's never protected you." Within hours, it was shared everywhere. His voice, his rage, his words.
People heard him now.
Not through me. From him. The next day, his job put him on leave. 2 days later, he was let go due to internal conflict and reputational risk. He tried to spin it like it was a witch hunt. Said I was out to destroy him. Said I twisted everything. But no one was listening anymore. Even his own mother posted a comment. "We stood by him too long. We failed you. We see it now. I'm sorry. But here's where I made a mistake. I thought leaving would bring me peace. It didn't. Not right away. The truth is, I had shrunk myself for so long, I forgot how to stand tall. Even after everything, I caught myself wondering, was I too harsh? Melanie called it emotional hangover. She said people who survive emotional abuse often feel guilty for finally defending themselves. I had to relearn who I was outside of his shadow. That part was hard, but there was peace. Eventually, I started therapy, again real therapy. I got a job in Springfield. Bigger city. More life. More space. I took a cooking class. I made friends who didn't know Jeff.
Didn't ask about him.
Didn't laugh at my pain. One night, almost a year later, I made lemon cake for a work potluck. Someone said, "You bake like you've been through hell and came back swinging." I smiled and said, something like that. Jeff never reached out again. Last I heard, he moved out of state. Someone said he was working part-time at a car dealership and living in his buddy's basement. I didn't care. He made his choices.
So did I.
And for anyone reading this who's swallowing their pain to keep the peace, let me say this. The peace you're keeping isn't peace. It's just silence. And silence can kill you.
Speak.
Even if your voice shakes. Even if it makes people uncomfortable. Because once you start speaking, they don't laugh anymore. They listen.